Assisting Coach Winder, we have Kinsey Lane and Andy Perro. And the head diving coach. Assisting Coach McDaniel is Andy Foley, Joel White, and Julian Collins. And Mesa will have no divers tonight. This time, we'd like to ask all the fans in the stands to please stand up and be ready to welcome your United States Air Force Academy Falcons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Falcons coaching staff. On the women's team, now in her 10th year, we have Colleen Murphy. Assisting Coach Murphy is Scott Cameron in his first year. Volunteer swim coach is Lexi Duchesne. Coaching the men's team, now in his 30th season, Rob Clayton. Assisting Coach Clayton, we have Anthony Betcher, who's been with us for 12 years, and volunteer swim coach Colin Duchesne. And last but not least, coaching the men's and women's diving team now in his 30th year, the elder statesman, Stan Curnow. Yeah. Assisting Coach Curnow is Captain Greg Copeland, and volunteer diving coach is Alice Street. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you please remain standing at this time for the playing of our national anthem. All right, swimmers, prepare for your first event. Divers, the ladies will be starting us off on. Folks in the stands, I'd like to say that if there's anybody you know that would like to be watching tonight's meet that was unable to be with us, we are streaming this live. You can tell them to go to goairforceacademyfalcons.com. That's goairforcefalcons.com, and from there they can follow the live stream from home. We'll be kicking off today with the women in the 200-yard medley relay. Thanks.
All right, judges, are you ready?
And Air Force in lane 3 winning that first heat. Well, folks, that heat was the final. That was a 1 of 1. Next, we're going to have the men in the 200-yard medley relay. Air Force will be in the 3rd lane and 6th lane. And we'll be having 2 heats. And mine's in first place after the first. Right now it's neck and neck with Air Force and Colorado Mesa. Mesa got the lead jump off there in the 4th lane. Air Force did an outstanding job in the turn. Came out of that in front. Air Force currently lane 3 in first. Colorado Mesa in second. And coming in the turn, it's Air Force lane 3 in first. Mesa second. Air Force 3rd in lane 6. They're bringing it home. Air Force is finishing strong. And your finishers are Air Force, Colorado Mesa, and Air Force. That first heat. And we're moving on to our 3rd event, the women's 1,000-yard freestyle. Air Force Academy is in lane 3, 6, and 8. There's just 1 heat, so this will serve as the final. Well, folks, simultaneously, we have the diving competition has begun. The Lady Falcons are starting out on the 3 meter. When they're done, the men will be on the 1 meter. And that was Ashlynn Foster with a back 1.5 in the laid out position. For those of you folks watching online, right now we're focusing on the swimming. During breaks, we'll be panning over to the diving. And on 3 meter, that was Air Force's Anna Schofield with a nice front 2.5 in the pike position. And currently we have Colorado Mesa in first place. In lane 4, Air Force's Jessica Lloyd is in second, in lane 3. And lane 2, we have Colorado School of Mines, Megan Slowly. And the diving competition, we moved on to the men, now in round 2. On 1 meter, nice back 1.5 in the pike position. Alex Kenyon's up, 1 meter. And Alex with an inward 2.5 off the 1 meter, very difficult. Second. And Colorado School of Mines, Megan Slowly in third. .25 laps down for the ladies in the 1,000 free. Air Force expanding the lead. Jessica Lloyd starting to pull away. Coming up on the 37th lap. At the turn, it's Air Force. Mesa, Colorado School of Mines. Coming up on the final laps, you know where these ladies are digging deep now, fighting to keep their form, streaming through the water. Air Force in first. Jessica Lloyd expanding her lead. Jessica bringing it home. In second, Colorado Mesa's Amelia Kinyard. And Mesa does finish second. And lane 8, we had Sophia Bulware from the Air Force Academy bring it on strong at the end and snag third place. So the Falcons go 1 and 3 in that 1,000-yard free. And just like that, we're right into the men's 1,000-yard freestyle. In lane 2, we have Colorado School of Mines. Lane 3, Air Force, Christopher Lindley. Lane 4 is Colorado Mesa. Lane 5, Mines. Lane 6, Air Force's Jonathan Sebastian. And lane 7, Colorado Mesa. Oberly from Mines comes in with the top seeded time of 9:34. Second seeded time is Jacob Troscher from Mesa with 9:38. Meanwhile, in diving, we start in round 4 with the women on the 3-meter. The men are just completing their 15th lap. For the men currently in lane 7, Colorado Mesa's in first. In lane 5, we have Colorado School of Mines in second. And in lane 2 is School of Mines in third. Moving back to the men on 1 meter, starting the 4th round of diving. All right, folks, the men have just finished 500 yards. They're at the halfway mark. As you can see, we have Jacob Troscher in first place in lane 7. In second place, lane 5, we have Henry Oberle. And in third place in lane 2 is Ronan Loringer. And Alex Kenyon with a nice back 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. Extremely difficult off 1 meter. That's worth 3.0 degree of difficulty. Well, it was Noah Luna that hit the board on his reverse 1.5 pike. Appears to be all right, thank goodness. .27 lengths down. There's a grand total of 40. Wow. Lane 7 actually is, he just finished his 29th length. Really moving. Well, right now we're at 800 yards for the leader in the men's 1,000 free. Colorado Mesa's Jacob Troscher's just really putting on a demonstration in stamina, endurance, and fine form. Just finishing his 33rd length with a total of 40. He's averaging 100.5 per 100. School of Mines, Ronan Longer. Jacob Trosher from Colorado Mesa is now on his final lap. He's working it hard and bringing it home. Impressive finish for the young man with a 10:02. Impressive finish for Jacob. And finishing in second from Colorado Mesa, we have Henry Oberly. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Colorado School of Mines. And in third from Mines, we have Ronan Longer. And we're moving right into the fifth event, the women's 200-yard freestyle. In this 200 free, in lane 2, we have Colorado School of Mines. In lane 3, Kara Gavin from Air Force. Lane 4, Colorado Mesa. Lane 5, Colorado School of Mines. Lane 6 is Air Force's Emily Bardak. Lane 7 is Mesa, and lane 8 is Air Force's Alex Clark. On the 3-meter, that was Ashlynn Foster, the nice inward 1.5 in the pike position. Degree of difficulty 2.1. That score is 6.5 for Ashlynn. Nice dive. And at the halfway point in lane 4, Lauren White from Mesa. Second place from Air Force, we have Kara Gavin. On lane 8, we got Alex Clark moving on. And head back at the final, we have Mesa in first. It's neck and neck with Mesa and Air Force. And finishing, it goes Air Force in third. First, we have Lauren White from Mesa, and second from Mesa, Kelsey Wright, and finishing third, Kara Gavin. And right into the second heat of the women's 200 free. Now the men are in their 5th round on the 1-meter. That was Dylan Epicello from Mesa with a nice full twisting front 1.5. And in first place, we have Air Force Academy's Addie Orris. Made the turn at 56. Second is Mesa's Kate Matowski. Third is Air Force's Raquel Roche. Wow, and on the 1 meter, that was a beautiful 51.34 D. What that means to the layman is Alex Kenyon from Air Force did a front 1.5 in the free position with 2 full twists, and it was beautiful. Degree of difficulty. Alex is currently in first place with a 2:43 after 5 rounds. And Air Force with the win. Addie Orris pulling it out with a 1 minute 57 seconds. In second place from Mesa's Kate Matowski. And in third place from Air Force, Raquel Roche. And we're right into the men's 200-yard freestyle. In lane 2, we have Mines. In lane 3, Air Force. Wen Zhang in lane 4 is Colorado Mesa. 5 is Mines. Lane 6, we have Grant Affman from Air Force. And lane 7 is Mesa. And currently well in the lead is Air Force's Wen Zhang. He came in with the top seed time of 1:33. Well, we're neck and neck for second place. From School of Mines, Brad Whitmer. And from Mesa, John Walgast. Way out in front is Air Force's Wen Zhang. He's bringing it home strong. And Air Force easily winning that heat. School of Mine finishing second, Mesa finishing third. Our next diver is going to be Ashlynn Foster on the 3 meter. She'll be doing a back 1.5 flip with 1 full twist. And the second heat for the men is consists of 2 School of Mines and 2 Mesa gentlemen. And Ashlynn Foster changed her dive on the board. That's something you can do in college. She changed it to a front 1.5 with a full twist. Next on the 3 meter for Air Force will be Anna Schofield. And Anna showing you her twisting ability. That was 2.5, it was back 1.5 with 2 twists, 2.5 twists rather. And back to the men currently, School of Mines is winning. Gavin Gilmore's in first place. In second place from School of Mines is Nick Delaney. Oh, Jolyn Harris on the 3-meter with a beautiful front 3.5 somersault in the tuck position. Difficult dive, and she nailed it. All right, folks, this is event 7, our women 50-yard freestyle. Fast and furious coming at you. 2 lengths, 1 lap. Air Force is in lane 3, lane 6, and lane 8. Oh, and coming up with a win from Air Force, Abby Turner with a time of 24.11. In second from Air Force, we had Cephalina Malay, and in third, Colorado Mesa. Now heat 2 of the women's 50-yard free. Air Force in lane 1, lane 3, lane 6, and lane 8. And here they come down the stretch. There's 3 of them neck and neck. Oh, and Air Force wins again. Leah Campbell in first place with a 24.91. Second from Air Force, Brooke Costella, and third from Air Force, Kim Wolfenda. Now the men are in the water with their 50 free. Best seated time in this one is in lane 3, Air Force's Corey Shepard. Comes in with a seed time of 19.97. Oh, and they're bringing it home. He's being challenged by lane 6. And lane 6 wins at Air Force Academy's Andrew Limpert with first place. Air Force second with Corey Shepard. And Mesa in third, Felipe Doris. This is our second hit of the men's 50 free. 1 Air Force swimmer in lane 6, Tori Bartlett. Winning that heat, we have Mesa with Keith Elms. Second, Mesa, and third, School of Mines. Okay, we're into the women's 400 IM. Air Force swimmers to watch in this one. Lane 3, we have Corin Yorkman. In lane 6, Maeve Roscoe. And in lane 8, Allie Armbruster. Top seeded time in this one is Air Force's Allie Armbruster in lane 8. Our second fastest seated time is Corinne Yorkman from Air Force in lane 3. Let's see how it pans out. We have 3 swimmers neck and neck, lane 3, 4, and 6. Air Force, Mesa, and Air Force, respectively. And Colorado Mesa in lane 4, with just a dominant breaststroke, has taken a substantial lead. So it's Mesa in first place. Air Force is in second with Maeve Roscoe in lane 6. And Air Force is in third. Corin Yorkman in lane 3. And they're on their final stroke, freestyle. Well out in front, Colorado Mesa's Borgenheimer. Making the turn for the last length in second place, Air Force's Maeve Roscoe in lane 6. And it looks like we could have a race for third place between Air Force and School of Mines. And winning the heat in dominating fashion from Colorado Mesa is Bogenheimer. Time of 4 minutes, 35 seconds. In second place, we have Air Force Academy's Maeve Roscoe. And in third place, School of Mines, Sophia Burr, just edging out Air Force's Corinne Yorkman, taking fourth. All right, here we are in the second heat of the women's 400 IM. We have Air Force's Lauren Arnold in lane 3. Colorado Mesa's lane 4. Mines is in lane 5. Air Force's Caroline Wittich is in lane 6. Mesa is in 7. And Air Force's Izzy Gell in lane 8.
I'm doing okay. Thanks.
Okay, folks, we have the conclusion of the diving's first round. The women were on 3 meter. In third place from Colorado Mesa was Jolynn Harris. In second place from Mesa was Apodaca Kira. And winning the women's 3 meter from Colorado Mesa, Lang Ali. For the men on 1 meter, in third place, we had from the Air Force Academy, Tristan Trax. In second place from Colorado Mesa was Tanner Belliston. And your 1 meter champion today from the United States Air Force Academy, Alex Kenyon. Impressive score of 300.3. Of note, several of our divers are out with COVID protocols at the time, but obviously the show must go on. Divers are now warming up and they're switching to where the women will be on the 1 meter and the men on the 3 meter. And folks, with that score, Alex Kenyon qualified for zones. So that's outstanding accomplishment for Alex Kenyon. Thank you. All right, heat 2 for the women are finishing up in the 400 IM. In first place from Air Force, Carolyn Wittich. In second place from Air Force, Izzy Gell. And in third place from Mesa, Amelia Kinnard. All right, kicking off the men's 400 IM. In lane 2, we have Mines. Lane 3 from Air Force is Joseph Moore. Lane 4 is Colorado Mesa. Lane 5, Mines. Lane 6 from Air Force, Logan Davis. And lane 7 from Mesa, Jacob Trosher again. Our top seed coming into this one is Air Force's Logan Davis in lane 6, qualifying with a 3:55. Second seed from Air Force is Joseph Moore in lane 3. Well, we got Joe Moore from Air Force in a commanding lead in lane 3 at the moment. In second from Mesa, Jake Simmons. And in third from Air Force, we have Logan Davis. Oh, and that was a tight finish. In first place, we had Joe Moore from Air Force with a 4:14. Second from Mesa, Jake Simmons. Third from School of Mines, Ronan Longengert. And in fourth, Logan Davis from Air Force. Nice tight competition. Way to swim, gentlemen. Okay, this is heat 2 of the men's 400-yard IM. From the Air Force Academy, we have Christopher Lindley in lane 1. Mines is in lane 2. Air Force's Garrett Brackman in lane 3. Colorado Mesa is in line 4. Mines is in lane 5. We have Andy Armour-Brewster in lane 6. And John Sebastian from Air Force is in lane 8. And Sebastian from Air Force is actually on lane 7. Boom, and bringing it in for first place from School of Mines is Josh Lee. In second, Air Force Academy's Garrett Brockman. And in third, Air Force's Andy Armbruster. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've just hit the break in swimming. In just a couple of moments, we'll be recognizing the 4 seniors we have from the men's swimming team during that break. And if diving reconvenes, we'll stream that during the break as well. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some seniors on the men's team to recognize. It's an exciting time, bittersweet for us all. So we'd ask you to stick around for a couple minutes during this break before you go take a stretch or restroom break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get going to recognize our seniors on the men's team. I'd like to give a great round of applause to the Air Force Academy swimming class of 2022. Yep. I'll tell you what, this has been an absolutely exceptional class. Since their freshman year, the class of 22 has been the top scoring class at every Western Athletic Conference championship, culminated in their dominating performance in 2022 as the Falcons won their most recent WAC championship. These guys are exemplary in every way. real quick so you understand this. At the Air Force Academy, there are several lists that you were recognized for your outstanding achievement. The Dean's List, most of you are familiar with, that's for outstanding academic achievement. We have something called the Commandant's List, so that is for distinguished service as one of the top people within the military performance structure at the Academy. And then there's the Athletic Director's List, and that's not just because you're an intercollegiate stud swimmer you get on that. You've got to pass all the physical fitness tests, the running tests, and all the physical ed classes, and you're still top of your class in that department as well. If you make all three of those lists in the same semester, you're on the Superintendent's List, which is a very enviable, distinguished group to be part of. And I think you'll be pretty impressed with these gentlemen's performance. First, we'd like to recognize David Gray. Come on out, David. All right. David's from Powder Springs, Georgia. He is a manager par excellence. He's a legal study major, and he's going to go attend pilot training next year and go fly, fight, and win for the Air Force. He's the son of Tom and Dana Gray. And David, we thank you very much for the outstanding work you did as a team's manager. Next, we'd like to recognize Logan Davis. Come on out, Logan. Logan hails from Southlake, Texas. He's an all-conference performer in the 200 fly, both the IMs, and he's one of the team captains. He's been on the Superintendent's List that I told you about for outstanding academic, athletic, and military performance. He served as the Vice Wing Commander in the summer of 2021. He's the #2 guy in charge of the entire cadet wing. Outstanding military leadership performance. He majors in management. He's the son of Chris and Amy, and he also plans to start pilot training next year to go out and do the core mission for our Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Logan Davis. Next, we'd like to bring out Corey Shepard. Corey hails from Manassas, Virginia. He's also a team captain, multiple-time Western Athletic Conference champion, and the top relay anchor in the WAC. He's earned a spot on the Superintendent's List for outstanding performance, academic, athletic, and military performance. He was named a WAC Academic All-Conference each season. Every season, part of the WAC All-Academic Conference. Majoring in mechanical engineering, not underwater basket weaving. That's a hard major. He's the son of Scott and Jennifer, and he also is going to go attend pilot training next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Corey Shepard. Next, we'd like to bring out Andrew Limpert. Andrew's from Mansfield, Texas. He was the 2021 WAC champion in the 200 butterfly. He's the Air Force Academy school record holder in the 200 butterfly. Yeah, get your name up on the board. He's earned a spot on the Superintendent's List, again for outstanding performance academically, athletically, militarily. Starting to see a trend item here with these boys. He was named the WAC All-Conference team last season. He's the son of Lee Limpert, and he's also going to go to pilot training next year. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Limpert. All right, next is Adam Grimm. Unfortunately, Adam's undergoing COVID protocols, but we're going to recognize the boy anyway, and his parents are here. So thank you, Adam's parents, for still coming out, and hopefully he's watching online. So Adam hails from O'Fallon, Missouri. He's the two-time defending WAC champion in the 400 IM. He won it in 2020 and 2021. He is also the school record holder in the 400 IM. Get your name up on the wall, Adam. He is an academic All-American. Big deal. Big deal. Academic All-American, academic All-Conference. He's been on the Superintendent's List, and he's majored in aeronautical engineering. Okay, that's a tough one here. Son of Steve and Sue. And upon graduation, he's going to be a developmental engineer. We need those big brains out there developing our future products for the Air Force so we can fly, fight, and win. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Air Force swimming class of 2022. Thank you. All right. Swimming will resume momentarily. In the meantime, all right, folks, diving's going to resume again in 5 minutes. Swimmers are warming up again. As a non-swimmer, I'm absolutely amazed at how swimmers swim to warm up, at which time I'm exhausted, then they swim to compete, and then they swim to cool down. I mean, it's just insane, the mental toughness and academic prowess they have for mind-body control. Our divers are warming up as well. If diving starts before swimming, we'll pan over to diving so you can catch some of that. Flipping and twisting action. For those of you watching the diving and maybe a little confused, here's how diving works. There are normally 3 judges' scores that count. So at bigger invitationals, they'll have 5 or 7 judges. You'll drop the high scores, the low scores, and you average the 3 middle scores. Now, the way they calculate the score is there is a dive that has a degree of difficulty. So the easier the dive, lower difficulty, 1, 1.5, 2. As they get more difficult, the dives get up approaching 3, and the most difficult dives are over a 3.0 degree of difficulty. So what they do is they take the 3 judges' scores, they add them together, and then they multiply them times the degree of difficulty, and that's how they come up with the overall score. If you're looking at the big board and wondering, well, I only see 2 judges' scores, how are they coming up with a 3-judge score? Sometimes it's smaller dual meets like we have where there's only 2 teams competing. They just use 2 judges, and then they interpolate that over to what it would be after averaging out those 2 judges to what the 3rd score would be, and then multiply that by the degree of difficulty. So that's how it works there. Also, you'll notice that diving judging is much more stingy than you're used to seeing. Definitely like in gymnastics. You'll see an outstanding dive and they get like a 7. And you're like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, a 7? And I mean, there's good dives that get 6s. Well, that's just the nature of the business in diving. They're extremely particular. You'll notice when you watch the Olympics or World Games, we'll start to get divers that are getting 9s there. Every once in a while, if you see an extremely good dive where they absolutely rip it with no splash, it is possible to achieve a 10 in diving, but extremely rare. But anytime that you see something that's about a 6 or better, that's a very good dive. Anything greater than a 6, very nice. Obviously, the judges are judging what they do on the board, their approach. They're judging their hurdle. And then, of course, the flipping and twisting in the air, how good their form is, if they're pointing their toes. And then, just like in gymnastics, sticking the landing carries a little bit of extra weight because it's that last impression. How they enter the water, and if it's one of those rips where they hit and they seem to suck their body through the water without making hardly any splash, if they rip the dive like that, that weighs in heavily on the judge's impression as well. Also, the position vertically that they're going in makes a difference. So that's the way diving scored. Lots of fun to watch. Hopefully we'll get a chance to catch a little bit of that today. Folks, unfortunately, for those of you who are planning on coming to the meet tomorrow, Air Force was taking on University, and you can follow the latest meet schedules. And if unable to attend the meet yourself, you can always watch the streaming live there. Most other schools are good about streaming the competitions as well. So even at those away meets, you can follow the Falcons. finish up that final length and get out. We are closing it for warm-up. Also, for those of you watching diving, wondering why they go all the different directions and back and forth, they do a total of 6 dives. They're required to do a front dive, a back dive, a reverse dive, an inward dive, and a twisting dive, and then their 6th dive can be their best. So they get to do 2 from one category, that's their best, but they are required to do 1 in each direction in position. All right, and we kicked it right back off again. Event 13, the women's 100-yard butterfly. In lane 2, we have Mines. In lane 3, Corbin Cormack from Air Force Academy. In lane 4, we have Colorado Mesa. Lane 5, Mines. Lane 6, Alana Clark from Air Force. Lane 7 is Mesa. And in lane 8, from Air Force is Alex Clark. There's going to be 3 heats in this one. All right, winning the heat from Air Force is Corbin Carmack. In second from Air Force, Alana Clark. And in third from Air Force, Alex Clark. Okay, this is our second of 3 heats for the women's 100-yard butterfly. We have Air Force in lane 3, Mesa's in lane 4, Mines in lane 5, Air Force's Darian Tompkins in lane 6, Mesa's in lane 7, and Air Force's Emily Bardek in 8. I failed to mention it's Shayla Markle that is in lane 3 from Air Force. All right, and they're bringing it home. Air Force is in the lead in lane 3. Neck and neck for second right now. It's going to be tight for second and third. And we end up with Air Force's Shayla Markle winning that heat. In second, Air Force Academy's Emily Bardek. And in third, Air Force Academy's Daria Tompkins. Air Force sweeping the first and second heats. And in heat 3, all you have to do is say, go Air Force, because every competitor is from the Air Force Academy in lanes 2 through 8. And first off the walls in lane 3 is Ella Martin from Air Force. making the final turn and bringing it home. In lane 3, we have Ella Martin. In lane 4, and second currently is Michelle Cabant. And in third, it looks like second's gonna be Margaret Meehan. And it does finish that way. Of course, that was 3 heats. We think Ella Martin might have taken second overall. Okay, now the men are at it. The men's 100-yard butterfly. This is the first of 3 heats. In lane 2, we have Mines. Lane 3 is Air Force's Grant Affman. Lane 4 is Mesa. Lane 5 is Mines. Lane 6 is our senior Andrew Limpert. And lane 7 is Mesa. And second for all right, heat 2, Air Force is in lanes 3.
Steps in today.
And we're on heat 3 of the men's 100 fly. For those of you watching from home, we just got the split screen back up so you can follow the diving scores. Again, our apologies, we're not able to show you the diving competition at this time. All right, we're into event 15. It's the women's 100-yard free. With the halfway point, it is neck and neck between our Air Force diver in lane 6. All right, pulling away now, Pearson lane 6, Selfina. Ooh, and a close finish. So what's her name? This doesn't line up. Yeah. Yeah, the name's here. Well, that's dangerous. In our second and final heat of the women's 100-yard. Air Force Academy's in lane 3 for Raquel Roche. Lane 6 with Kara Gavin, and lane 8 with Addie Orris. And bringing in the final stretch. And boom, winning that heat is Kara Gavin from Air Force Academy. Second from Air Force, Raquel Roche. And third from Air Force, Addie Orris. Moving right into event 16, the men's 100-yard freestyle. All right, Air Force's Wen Zhang is in lane 3. Jack McGrath is in lane 6. At the halfway mark, Air Force's Wen Zhang looking really strong. Making the turn again, very strong. Wen Zhang in first from Air Force. It's a little bit of a battle for second place. And Air Force's Wen Zhang wins it. Second place is School of Mines, Harry Smith. And in third, Mesa's Kuba Kazak. Heat 2 of 2 for the men's 100-yard free. Air Force is in lane 6 on this one. Steven Zanowick. Ashlynn Foster diving with a back 1.5 somersault pike. Oh, and diving on 1 meter, that was Jolynn Harris with a beautiful front 2.5 somersault in the piked position. Degree of difficulty 2.6. She scores 6s and 7s for a total of 40.95. Winning that one is Mesa Barrett. In second, School of Mines, Hunt. And in third was Air Force's Steven Zanowick. Okay, moving on to event 17, the women's 100-yard backstroke. All right, in this one we have Allie Armbruster in lane 1 from Air Force. Mines is in lane 2, Alana Clark in lane 3, Mesa's in lane 4, Mines in lane 5, Air Force's Anna Ashley in lane 6, Mesa's in lane 7, and Air Force in lane 8 with Maeve Roscoe. Fourth, Lauren White for second and third. Who's going to finish strong, get that reach? First is Mesa, second is Mesa's Davy Brown, third is Air Force Academy's Alana Clark, fourth was Anna Ashley. Oh, on the 3-meter springboard, Air Force's Alex Kenyon had a real nice front 2.5 somersault in the pike position. That's a degree of difficulty 3.0. He scores 7.5s across the board to garner 67.5 points. Heck of a dive. At the turn, Ella Martin's in first place at the turn there. And turning for the final length in lane 6, Ella Martin. But coming up strong in lane 3 is Shayla Markle. And we finish this heat, Air Force 1, 2, and 3. Ella Martin in first. Shayla Markle in second. Corinne Yorkman in third. All right, the men are in the pool getting ready for the 100-yard backstroke. This is the first of 2 heats. This is Air Force's Gabe Bartolome. Lane 7 is Mesa. It's neck and neck. Oh, and Air Force's Gabe Bartolome with an outstanding underwater, putting him right up there fighting for first. We'll see how his turn is here. Great underwater, but it's tight. Currently in the lead is lane 4, Mesa's Andrew Scoggin. I think Andrew's gonna hold off, and he does. Winning it for Mesa's Andrew Scoggin. In second for Mesa is Jeremy Cooch. And in third from Air Force Academy, Gabe Bartolome. We have 4 men swimming in this second heat. In lane 2 is Mines. In lane 3, Air Force's Garrett Brackman. In lane 4 is Mesa. In lane 5, Mines. It's tight between Mines in line 5 and Mesa in lane 4. On the 1 meter, we have Anna Schofield. She's going to be performing a back 1.5 somersault in the pike position. Degree difficulty 2.3. The boys are bringing it home strong, neck and neck in lane 4 and 5. Oh, and just got the underwater dip from School of Mines, Brad Whitmarsh. In second from Mesa was John Walgast. And in third from Air Force, Garrett Brockman. That was a tight race for first. Now we're into the women's 500 freestyle. Lane 2, we have Mines. Lane 3 is Air Force's Lauren Arnold. Lane 4 is Mesa. Lane 5, Mines. Lane 6 is Sophia Bulware from Air Force. Lane 7 from Mesa, and lane 8 is Air Force's Maddie Comptello. Just completing her dive off the 1 meter is Ashlynn Foster, who garners 6.5s across the board on her front 2 flips within the pike position. Real nice entry. Now up is Jolynn Harris from Mesa. Jolynn Harris from Mesa performing an inward 1.5 somersault in the pike position. Degree of difficulty is 2.4. She garners 6s. Interesting factoid about Jolynn, she's actually a 2-sport intercollegiate athlete. She is one of the nation's top female wrestlers in addition to diving. And Dylan Apicello doing front 2.5 pike off a 3-meter. Dylan's a freshman. Used to coach at the high school level in the Colorado Springs area, as well as with the Colorado Springers Dive Club. Now off to college, diving on his own. All right, Tristan Trax from Air Force on the 3-meter. Diving board had a real nice back 2.5 somersault in the tuck position. That's a degree of difficulty 2.8. He over-rotated just a little bit, had a little extra on that, got himself 5.5s across the board, but still very respectable. Nine lengths down in the 500 women's free. Wow. Wow, folks that missed that, Alex Kenyon from Air Force on the 3-meter. Reverse 2.5 somersault in the pike position, very difficult. 3.0 degree of difficulty. Beautiful in the air, beautiful lines, beautiful toe point, outstanding entry. He gets an 8.0 and a 7.5 for a score of 100. No, that's not the right score. It's a high score. Alex qualified for zones on 1-meter just 30 minutes ago. We'll see if he can keep it going on 3-meter. Currently in first place with 204.75. "13 lengths of the pull down for our ladies in the 500 free. It's pretty close right now with 3 of the divers out neck and neck, and a 4th not far behind. Just finishing their 15th length. Rounding the corner in first place at the moment is Air Force's Sophia Bolware. In second is CMU's Kate Mataskava. All right, now it's neck and neck for first place between Air Force and Mesa. Although we do have swimmers from Mesa and School of Mines catching up. 17 lengths down. We're moving back to action on the 1-meter. Allie Lang's up from Mesa. All right, folks, you heard the whistle. That means it's the last lap. Girls are giving it everything they got. Air Force is currently in first, heading into that last turn. There's the turn. Lane 6, Sophia Bolware. Right next to her from Mesa, Kate Mataskov. They're neck and neck. Boy, who's going to dig down deep and bring it home? It is neck and neck. Oh, Mesa's starting to catch her. Who's going to get the reach? Oh, and Mesa just gets the reach. Kate pulls it off in the last second with a great stretch. Separated by 0.1. Yeah, 5/100ths of a second. 5/100th second separating first and second. Third place is Mesa's Amelia Kinnard. Great race, ladies. This is the second heat of the women's 500 free. Air Force has 4 swimmers in this one. Lane 1, we have Izzy Gell. Lane 3 is Katie Kuchik. Lane 6, Madeline Latondra. Lane 8, Gina Jenkins. Anna Schofield's up on the 1 meter. She'll be doing a reverse 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. That carries a degree of difficulty of 2.1. Anna's a sophomore at the Air Force Academy. She gets a 6 and a 5.5 for a 36.23. Anna moves Anna into second place currently. We're in round 4 of the women's diving. Next up is Ashlynn Foster. And Ashlynn does a front 2.5 in the tuck position. Degree of difficulty 2.4. Finishing just a little bit short, getting 3.5 and 5 for 30.6. Ashlynn's a local graduate of Palmer Ridge High School right here in Monument, Colorado. Coached in high school by Alan Arata and club coach Jim Hawking. Oh, and Jolynn Harris from Mesa doing a double twisting front 1.5, extremely difficult dive. Degree of difficulty 2.6. There's not many women in the nation that can pull that one off. She ends up a little bit short going in, gets 4.5s and 5s. It's a high risk, high reward kind of dive. Now we're moving to round 4 for the men on the 3 meter with Dylan from Mesa leading off. All right, Dylan's back 2.5, tuck in the tuck position. He comes up a little bit short. He just opened up a little bit early, so a little short on that entry. He'll take a hit there. Dylan's just a freshman. Meanwhile, swimming, just finishing our 11th length. Got 3 swimmers that are all neck and neck right now. Air Force's Katie Kuchik, CMU's Kelsey Wright, and Air Force's Madeline Latondra, all neck and neck. Tristan Trax from Air Force, nice inward 2.5 tuck, somersault tuck position on the 3 meter. 2.7 degree difficulty. He gets a 6.5 and a 5.5 on that for a 48 total. Fifteen lengths down for the ladies. Wow, Alex Kenyon from the Air Force Academy on 3 meter. Front 3.5 in the pike position. 3.5 flips in pike. Degree of difficulty 3.1. He gets 7s across the board for a 65.1. Alex is on tonight. Meanwhile, in the ladies freestyle, 17 lengths down. They've started to separate a little bit. In lane 3 from Air Force is Katie Kuchik. In first, in second's Kelsey Wright. You can probably hear the whistle blowing. That's the final lap coming up. Air Force is in the lead, lane 3. Mesa's lane 4. In third, currently sitting with Air Force Madeline Latondra. Oh, at the turn, it just tightened up at the turn between Air Force and Mesa. It's kind of neck and neck. Katie Kuchik appears to be pulling out a little bit. It's going to come down to the stretch. It's coming down to the reach. And Air Force pulls it out. Katie Kuchik with the stretch. 23.68 and .77. In third place is Air Force's Gina Jenkins. Another super tight race right down the wire. That was exciting. All right, we're on to the men's 500 free. School of Mines is in lane 2. Air Force's Wen Zhang in lane 3. That cadet is swimming a lot tonight. Lane 4, we have Logan Ellis from Mesa. In lane 5, School of Mines. Lane 7, we have Mesa. Moving back to the ladies on 1 meter. Currently, after Alex Kenyon's in first place from Air Force for the men. Going into round 5, we have Jolynn Harris is in first from Mesa with a 172. Allie Lang from Mesa, and then Anna Schofield. Wen Zhang out to an early lead from Air Force in lane 3.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, went from Air Force in lane 3. He's just got a nice, smooth, effortless looking stroke. Looks like he's barely kicking. He's just so efficient. He comes in with a seed time of 4 minutes, 22 seconds. Just 20 years old. Carrie Meyer from Mesa doing a nice 51.32D. That means a front 1.5 with a full twist. On the 1 meter, she gets a 6 and a 6.5. Anna Schofield's now up for Air Force. And Anna does a full twisting front 1.5 in the free position. It's a degree of difficulty of 2.2. She gets a 7 and a 6, so that averages out to 6.5 for a 42.9 overall. Real nice dive. Next up, Ashlynn Foster. Oh, and Ashlynn's reverse 1.5 in the tuck position. She had real nice height and just over-rotated a little bit there on the entry. Meanwhile, back at the men, we're 13 lengths in, 13 lengths down for the men. Jolynn Harris up next on 1 meter. Oh, and Jolynn Harris has a beautiful back 1.5 in the pike position for Mesa on 1 meter. Beautiful toe point, nice vertical entry. She garners 6.5 for a 44.85. That's going to move her into first place for the women. And we're back on the 3 meter starting round 5 with Dylan Apicello. Does just a nice basic reverse dive in the pike position. Meanwhile, 17 lengths down. Looks like Air Force's Wen Zhang is just out for a casual swim by himself. Smooth and efficient. He's making the final turn for the lap. Starting to pick up the pace just a little bit. He's a full length ahead of several swimmers. He's on the very last length now. Air Force's Wenzhang bringing it home. Everybody's getting back in shape after winter break. He looks like he's in pretty darn good shape right now, winning that handily. 4 minutes, 45 seconds. Well ahead of our second place finisher from Mesa, Jacob Troscher. Oh, beautiful dive by Alex Kenyon on the 3 meter. Alex from Air Force. It was a front 2.5 with a full twist. Okay, extremely difficult dive to do a full twisting front 2.5. Gets an 8 and a 7, averages out to 7.5s for a 67.5. He's truly putting a clinic on for us tonight, folks. That moves him well into first with a 337 after 5 rounds. Starting our second heat of the men's 500 free. Noah Luna just did a nice reverse 2.5. He actually over-rotated a little bit. He was spinning so fast. But that moves him into second place on the men's 3 meter. In the second heat of the men's 500 free, we have School of Mines, Mesa, School of Mines, and Mesa. On 1 meter, we have Marissa Stahl doing a back 1.5 with a half twist. Nice dive. She gets 6s across the board for a 37.8. Currently moves her to third place with a 203. Wow, Kira Apodaca from Mesa had a really nice front 2.5 in the tuck position. She gets 6.5s across the board for a 46.8. That scores 230, moves her into second place. All right, we're on round 6 of the women's 1 meter diving. We have Anna Schofield coming up. The men have 13 lengths down. 13 lengths down, there's 4 of them. All hanging together pretty well. Well, currently there are 3 Mesa divers in first, second, and third in the 6th round, but we have more Air Force divers to come. Colorado Mesa, of course, out in Grand Junction. Absolutely beautiful campus and location. And of course, for those that might not be familiar, our Colorado School of Mines is just up in Golden, Colorado. Another beautiful campus, great engineering school. All right, 17 links are down for the boys. All right, if you heard that whistle, that signifies the last lap for the men. Anna Schofield's now up. She'll be doing a back 1.5 somersault with 1 twist. Oh, and Anna does a real nice back 1.5, 1.5. That's a lot of flipping and twisting and only 1 meter to get around. She does it nicely. It's a degree of difficulty 2.5. She averages 5 for a score of 37.5. In the men's heat, Ronan Longer took first. In second was School of Mines' Joe Peak. And in third, CMU's Jeremy Cook. Ashlynn Foster on 1 meter does a nice 1 laid out flip with 2 twists in the free position. Difficult dive to control. It's a feet first entry. She does it very pretty. Gets a 5, 5.5 for a 36.2. Next up is Jolynn Harris. Jolynn does a reverse 1.5 somersault in the pike position. Difficult dive. She finishes a little bit short on that entry, and they hit her for it, 4.5s. But overall, outstanding meet for her. She gets a 249, and looks like she's going to win the women's competition. Now we're back to the last round for the men on 3 meter. Dylan Epitello's up first from Mesa.
Are they on diving right now? Until they go? Is it over on diving right now? Yeah. Until they go? Okay.
All right, Dylan does a front 1.5 somersault with 1 twist. Degree of difficulty 2.1. Gets a 6.5 and a 7 for a 42.53. Next up, we have Air Force's Tristan Trax. All right, folks, I don't know how fast your eyes can count twists, but that was 3 twists on that front 1.5 from Tristan Trax. Degree of difficulty 3.0. Judges hit him. If you noticed, his feet split apart right there at the very end. He was a little short, so he got 4s. Extremely difficult dive. Folks, that was Alex Kenyon. He did the same dive Tristan did. A front 1.5 with 3 twists. Really difficult to stop all that torque and rotation as you're coming around. As you saw, he bent his knees in the end there a little bit. The judges do hit him hard for that with a 3.5 and a 4. But overall, a 371.1 on the 3 meter. Absolutely great day for Alex Kenyon today diving. There's a beautiful double twisting front 1.5. So the degree of difficulty goes from a 3.0 if you do 3 twists down to a 2.5 if you do 2 twists. You can see he scores a 7 and a 7.5. So it's that risk reward before how much difficulty do I do versus do a little less difficulty but hit the dive cleanly. All right, Tanner with a beautiful dive. You always love those reverse 1.5 twisting dives. Gets a 54 overall, 6 and a 6.5 there. And that concludes the diving. You can see Alex Kenyon running away with it today with a 371.1. Seconds Noah Luna from Mesa with a 310.13. And Tanner Bellis from Mesa with a 305.1. Again, this is the first meet out of the chute coming back from winter break. So everybody's knocking the rust off, getting their wind and endurance back, getting their form back. It's looking like it's shaping up to be a great season. We really appreciate everybody continuing to watch and support the Falcons. Again, please go to airforcefalcons.com for the latest schedules and event. Well, we're moving into our next break period while the swimmers cool down, warm up. Diving's concluded. I'll go down and get you some diving scores here momentarily, folks. I'll also check in on the team scores, give you an update of where we stand.
Like that. Okay. Minute 56 seconds left in the break. Just under 2 minutes left in the break till we start up again.
All right, folks, we got the results from the diving competition. We'll announce those at this time. For the women on the 1 meter, in third place from Colorado Mesa was Kira Apodaca. In second place, Allie Lang. And in first place with a 249.6 from Colorado Mesa, Jolynn Harris. Yeah. And again, if you didn't hear it, Jolynn is one of those rare gems. She is a two-sport intercollegiate athlete. She's also just a national level dominant wrestler in addition to being a great diver. So love seeing that. Moving on to the men, the top three for the men. In third place from Colorado Mesa is Tanner Belliston, with a 305. In second place was Noah Luna from Colorado Mesa University. And in first place, if you remember, he qualified for zones on 1 meter, which is a big deal. He did it again on 3 meter. Alex Kenyon, first place with a dominant 371.1 performance. Let's give a round of applause for your diving champions today. Woo! That, folks, is called a rip off a 10 meter if you just saw it. All right, we're gonna get the swimming going again. I'll try to get you some scores where we stand going to the last event. All right, and there we have the women's 100 breast finals. Mason first, Air Force in second, Mason third. And second heat of event 23. And bringing it home on the last length, we have Air Force's Corbin Cormack in the lead, but fastly approaching is Andrea Hines from Air Force. And finishing the heat, winning, that's Corbin Cormack. In second from Air Force, Audrey Hines. And third, Colorado Mesa. Okay, and as the men start the 100-yard breaststroke, I have scores up to this point. This is operating as dual meet, so instead of a try, this is dual meet. So with the men, currently Air Force Academy men are beating Colorado School of Mines 126 to 66. The Air Force Academy men are beating Colorado Mesa University 119 to 85. And Colorado Mesa is leading Colorado School of Mines 130 to 70. On the women's side, Air Force Academy is currently beating Colorado School of Mines 163 to 31. Your Air Force Academy is leading Colorado Mesa 107 to 99, tight one. And Colorado Mesa is currently besting School of Mines 156 to 44. Bringing this home, we have a tight one for first. Oh, and pulling it off is Air Force Academy's Tori Bartlett. In second is Mesa's Matt Barrett. And in third is... All right, this is heat 2 of 2. Best seated time in this one is Air Force's Logan Davis in lane 6. Next to that, second seed is Air Force's Jason Menninger in lane 3. Those are some nice underwaters there. Well, at the turn, it's Jason Menninger. However, with a real nice underwater is Jake Simmons. They're racing to bring it home. It looks like Air Force may hold them off. And he does for the win. Air Force's Jason Menninger in second, Jake Simmons in third. From School of Mines, Brad Whitmarsh. All right, folks, this is the last event for the women. This is the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Air Force is in lane 3 and lane 6 and lane 8. Well, Colorado Mesa out in front. In second place, we have Air Force Academy's Relay Team B. Two of them out in front pretty well. Got 3 swimmers looking pretty tight for third place. And in the pool first again in lane 4 is Mesa, Air Force in lane 6. At the turn, it's Mesa first, Air Force second. Air Force third, but it's a pretty tight race for third. We also have Colorado School of Mines vying. And it finishes up, Colorado Mesa in first place, Air Force Academy Relay B in second, and Air Force Academy in third. And here we are, the last event, the men's 200 freestyle relay. Colorado School of Mines in second, Air Force Academy's lane 3. Colorado Mesa University in lane 4, Mines in 5, and Mesa in 7. Still pretty tight competition right now, 4 swimmers. First at the turn is the Mavericks. Oh, it's a tight race. Mavericks still out in first for Mesa. And it is neck and neck between Air Force and Mines for second. At the turn, it's Mesa. Neck and neck, Air Force and Mines. Oh, it's neck and neck all the way in. Boy, this is tight. Got a great jump off the blocks from Colorado School of Mines in lane 5. And at the turn, oh, it's close. It is close. It's neck and neck for Mines and Mesa. Neck and neck, Mines, Mesa. And it's School of Mines first, Mesa second, Air Force third, in a tight one. All less than a second separating them. Well, folks, we're going to tally the final scores that we'll announce here shortly. We'd ask you to stick around for just a few moments. And again, folks, we ask you to stick around for just a few moments. We'll announce our dual meet scores, and then we'll carry out a proud Air Force tradition of singing the Air Force's third verse. Okay, we have the final scores for the night. First of all, for those in the stands that made the trip out, how was it? Were you not entertained? We had some good swimming and diving today, didn't we? It's pretty exciting, knocking the rust off, back from winter break. They're going to have a strong season. In the men's competition for the dual meet between Colorado School of Mines and Air Force prevailed 146 to 82. Yeah, in the dual competition between Colorado Mesa and Air Force Academy, the men prevailed 136 to 104. And in the competition between Mines and Mesa, Mesa was the victor today, 149 to 87. All right. In the women's competition, Air Force Academy against Colorado School of Mines, the women won 194 to 36. In the competition with Mesa, the Air Force Academy ladies 121. Oh, it's a tie, 121 to 121. I didn't see that one coming. I didn't look at that before I read it. Wow, great job, ladies. That was no wonder it was such an exciting competition. And then between Mines and Mesa, Colorado Mesa won with 185 to 51. So outstanding competition for all. Really appreciate it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a tradition we've had at the United States Air Force Academy. We have the Air Force song. You heard the first verse when they marched in. And we like to finish all competitions on the field of friendly strife. We're sowing the seeds that on other days and other fields will bear the fruits of victory. But we recognize all those that men and women who have served us in the past. So please stand and honor the playing of the Air Force Academy third verse. U.S. Air Force. Go Falcons! Woo! Thank you, everybody, for coming out and supporting us tonight. Please drive home safely. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next Home Falcon event. Good night.